Okay, so in this chapter, we talk about um, some introduction to the data structure, especially about why we use the data structure, why we use the array. Okay, so basically, the data structure is something to help you to optimize the data. Okay, help you to sorting, to search. Okay, so think about if you want to search something. Okay, in your at your room, if you don't have very good organizations, the skill, sometimes it's very hard to find, right? For example, you have a closet. In this closet, you have a t-shirt part, you have a pen part, you have a for the winter clothes, right? So if you didn't organize them, you just put all the clothes, in the closet. For you or for other people, it's very hard to find one of them, which you like. Okay, so if you have very good structure, okay, you put something belong to this place, you just put there. Okay, even though some people maybe will give the labels, right? All those stuff is the data structure. Okay, so um, in this chapter, we talk about very basic data structure we called array. Okay, so we're using array to store the data which has same data type. Okay, so in today's in today's work, we will talk about what is array, how to declare array, how to use array, how to access array, and I will give uh, different kind of examples how to use array in our applications. Okay, so first, array is a sequence of variable which has same data type. Okay, so look at this one. So in this one, we have like 10 individual variables. Okay, so sometimes it's not very easy to help you to sort, even though we know this 10 grades, okay, is a grade. Okay, so one of the way we can do, we want to store this one, or you can think like organize them or categorize them into one list, which we called array. Okay, so this is in this array is a sequence of variable. Okay, let's say what is sequence variable. So once you store them into the array, okay, so you store first is grade 1, grade 2 until grade 10. Okay, this one will based on the sequence they get into the list and store them with different elements. Okay, so the element is very similar when we talk about how to convert binary, okay, which is zero index base. Okay, what does that mean? If you want to access, if you want to call, okay, index 0, it would be first element. Okay, so it's very similar when we using the string, right? If you know still mean the string, the index of try at, they all using the zero index base, right? So for the array, it's the same thing. Okay, the first one, the index will be 0. The second one will be 1. Okay, so each of them we gave the index, right? Okay, so once we know, we can use the array to store a sequence of variable and how to declare array using the class array. Okay, Here is the example. The format is first you need to know the data type with a pair of a bracket with a name. Okay, so this name, as long as it's matched with is fits the naming rules. Okay, and you know right now we talk about the naming rules. We just give some recall. Okay, what is naming rules? First, cannot be the first letter cannot be the digit. Okay, cannot be a reserved word. Right? What is a reserved word? Something like if, else, right? Even this data type, built-in data type, you cannot use them. And you cannot use a special character, okay? Special character, except two, okay? Which is dollar sign and underscore, okay? Only two special character you can use. Otherwise, for other thing, you cannot. Something like a dot or semicolon, right? Those things you cannot include for the naming. Okay, so just okay, give some review since we probably uh as our final exam we will just go over everything. Okay, right now give some review as well. So there's two formats. So both of them you can do. Okay, so if you saw this one, you can think this is a array. So what type of data array? What type of data array name? Okay, so this is the example. So in the example, in the example, you can see here. So first is data type, then is array name. Okay, so this bracket you have to include. Okay, once you declare which is array, you can tell this array store the data type int. Okay, only int. For the name, okay, this is the name you want to give, and this is array only can be string. Right, a boolean, which means this response array only store the boolean data. Okay, so something very similar. If we bracket break is only, okay, this is a customized class which called break. Okay, so this array only can store the object of break. Okay, so once we know that, we need to initialize, okay, how many data you can store. Okay, so it's very similar when we use when we create the object of a class. Okay, so what is object class? How we create? Okay, so the format is the class name. Okay, with instant the object's reference. Okay, basically it's the object's name, right? With keyword new and class name with uh with a constructor, right? So for the array is very similar. Okay, you have as long as you declare this array name, okay, you're using the new and the data type with the size. Okay, so you can see here. So before we declare array, it's a grid, right? So we give a grid, we create the object array with a size 10. Okay, what that's supposed to mean? It's supposed to mean only you can store 10 of int value. Okay, what that mean? So back to this one. It's the same thing. Okay, we have data type, we declare this array, then we give the 10 value, which means we only can store 10 int array. Okay, so what does suppose mean? Okay, you cannot put other like string, char, or boolean, okay, get into this array. Okay, otherwise they will say it doesn't match. Okay, because you set you only store int while you store other datas. Okay, so the same thing for the closet. Okay, you're here only for pants. You don't want to store, your t-shirt put into the pant area, right? It's the same thing. We declare this array only store the int, so which means you only can put int object into there, right? So the same thing here. Name with string, okay, which means you can save 50 names, right? Here's the thing. If we know the size, okay, and it's mandatory, you have to give the size, okay? So if you give the size, can you just guess, okay, what's the index based on the size for each element? Okay, so it's easy, right? So from 0 to 9, okay? So basically it's 10 element. Okay, so this is a 0 to 49 as well. Okay, so normally we can just combine two steps, declare and instantiating together. So which we back to the first example, right? We can just declare first, then using the keyword new with size. Okay, in here you have to be careful what kind of data, what kind of data type you want to do. Then using the data type to declare and instantiate this array. Okay, so